Joining us now, Matthew Scianitti, who will be covering Canada's Copa America qualifier against Trinidad and Tobago in Texas on March 23rd. Matthew, Milan Borjan has become a staple on this team, but he's not on the roster. How significant is that?
No, it's hugely significant. He really was the mouthpiece for John Herdman's brotherhood leading up to the World Cup in Qatar. He's moved on to the Slovakian League, and he's playing pretty well, but you could hear from Mauro Biello that he was looking to infuse this squad with something different, a freshness. He talked about maybe that passion playing for Canada diminishing since the World Cup. And if you're going to make a statement, there isn't a bigger statement than moving Milan Borjan out of the national team and looking at Maxime Crépeau and Dane St. Clair and Jonathan Sirois and all that they have done in Major League Soccer to start the season to say we're looking for a bit of a culture change. Maybe not a bit, maybe hugely significant, because so many questions around this team center around the goalkeeping and exactly what is in front, those two center backs in the defensive position. So making that move is going to go ahead and really change the way that this team looks defensively.
Going into this game and hopefully Copa if they win, what do you feel are the biggest areas of concern for Canada?
Let's stick to one point, and that's the culture point. I'll build off the point about Milan Borjan. Not only was he omitted, but Marc-Anthony Kaye was omitted, Junior Hoylett was omitted, and in particular, Steven Vittorio was omitted, the veteran central defender. These are all pieces of that brotherhood culture. And if you're looking for a freshness, if you're looking for a cultural shift, there isn't anything bigger than that Mauro Biello is doing. Now, the names that you know are still going to be there. They're still going to start. We're talking about Jonathan David, Alphonso Davies, Tajon Buchanan, Kyle Lair, and Stefan Eustáquio, Ishmael Kone. Some of them have been playing. In particular, Jonathan David is on a tear right now, goal scoring. Some haven't been. Ishmael Kone and Stefan Eustáquio in central midfield have been coming in and out. But going to back to that point about this desire to play for Canada that Mauro Biello says has been dipping, to bring in names like Jason Russell-Rowe and Theo Bair and Jacob Schaffelberg, yeah, maybe they're not going to start, but the whole point of bringing those guys in is to push the other guys to say, listen, this is a significant moment for the Canadian men's national team. This is the biggest game they've played since the World Cup. We are 100 days out from Copa America. If Canada beats Trinidad and Tobago, they will play Lionel Messi and the World Cup champions Argentina to start a significant international tournament. But this is a huge, huge move by Mauro Biello. We talk about some of the changes that he made, particularly talk about the substitutions in that second half. In that loss to Jamaica in Toronto, there was a lot of questions about some of those substitutions. Well, if Mauro Biello has to look down at his bench, the 9 or 10 guys he might be looking at, they don't really have cumulatively a lot of experience playing for Canada. So this is a huge call by an interim head coach who, under a new general secretary that Canada Soccer has, he's looking to establish himself, a new culture. But when I asked him the question about that culture reset, he says he wants to bring these players in so they can express themselves. But it's still a huge call not having those veterans in place.
Now, on Saturday, Alphonso Davies made his first start for Bayern in over a month because of a knee injury, but that lasted just 14 minutes after he was kicked in the face. Any concerns about Davies' status here?
And not that I'm hearing. He had a trip, albeit not a pleasant trip to the dentist. All indications are he will be good to go. He could play this weekend. Alphonso Davies is going to be so critical for Canada going into this match against Trinidad and Tobago. But all signs are he'll be good to go.
The Canadian team will meet in Frisco, Texas, March 18th. Matthew will have continuing coverage leading up to their must-win game.